The Village of Wheeling Liquor Commission is now called to order. Please stand. And before we do the Pledge of Allegiance this evening, let us remember and thank those men and women that were out there, have fought for this country, those that continue to fight for this country, and for those of the families that have been going through the people out there losing and gaining their families to protect us to live in the United States. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Vogel?
Present.
Commissioner Hein?
Here.
Commissioner Brady?
Here.
Commissioner Argyris?
Here.
Commissioner Lang?
Here.
Commissioner here?
Here.
Chairperson Abiscato?
Here. Approve of the minutes of the September meeting of September 17th.
So moved.
Motion made by by Commissioner Vogel.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Here. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Vogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Hein?
Yes.
Commissioner Brady?
Yes.
Commissioner Argyris?
Yes.
Commissioner Lang?
Yes.
Commissioner here?
Yes.
Chairperson Abiscato?
Yes.
Consideration of a Class I liquor license, Wheeling Prospect Heights Area Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Wind Down Wednesday with Restaurant Row event, Bill Stasek Chevrolet, 700 West Dundee Road, and the event will take place November 14th.
If I may,
Yes.
I'd like to add that this be a conditional approval with a proof of, adequate proof of liquor liability insurance.
So move. Second.
Motion by Commissioner Argyris, second by Commissioner Here. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Vogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Hein?
Yes.
Commissioner Brady?
Yes.
Commissioner Argyris?
Yes.
Commissioner Lang?
Yes.
Commissioner here?
Yes.
Chairperson Abiscato?
Yes. And do you have the insurance?
We do. I'll supply it tomorrow morning when I get
Great.
What's
Thank
attached
you.
to the docket here? There's insurance here. Is that something different?
It doesn't include liquor liability,
Okay.
so we can do that in the morning.
We do have that, yeah.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item B, in consideration of a Class L liquor license, Trajan Flight Support, DBA Atlantic Aviation, grand reopening event, 1011 South Wolf Road, on December 5th.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Brady, second by Commissioner Argyris. Roll call, please.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Hein?
Yes.
Commissioner Brady?
Yes.
Commissioner Argyris?
Yes.
Commissioner Lang?
Yes.
Commissioner here?
Yes.
Chairperson Abiscato?
Yes. Mr. Kurgan?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Madam President, I'd like to make a motion to close the Liquor Control Commission meeting.
We have a motion.
Second.
Second.
You second?
He did first.
Okay. Motion made by Commissioner Argyris, second by Commissioner Brady. Roll
Brady?
call, please.
Commissioner Vogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Hein?
Yes.
Commissioner Brady?
Yes.
Commissioner Argyris?
Yes.
Commissioner Lang?
Yes.
Commissioner here?
Yes.
Chairperson Abiscato?
Yes. Call to order this regular meeting of the President and Board of Trustees of November 12th. Do I have a motion?
So move.
And it's called to order. Excuse me, we don't need a motion. Roll call.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Hein?
Yep.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Argyris?
Here. Excuse me.
Trustee Lang?
Here.
Trustee here?
Here.
President Abiscato?
Yes. Approve the minutes of the regular meeting of October 15th.
So move.
Motion made by Trustee Argyris.
Second.
Second by Trustee Lang. Roll call, please.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
I don't think you were here. Yes, you were. Okay. Trustee Hein?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Argyris?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee here?
Yes.
President Eversotto.
Yes. Mr. Fondillis, changes to the agenda.
Yes, Madam President, I'd like to ask that we remove old business item 12A and a motion to move item 13E, 1 and 2 to be discussed after executive session.
So move.
Motion made by trustee
Hein.
Hein, second by
Second.
trustee Lang. Roll call, please.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Hein?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Argyris?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee here?
Yes.
President Eversotto.
Yes. Proclamations.
Are you going to do the awards first?
Proclamations, congratulatory resolutions, and awards.
Right. Okay. The awards are going to Charles Gouldine, Life-Saving Award. He's not here today, is he? Yeah, he's not. Charles Gouldine, isn't he?
This will be presented by Deputy Chief.
Thank you, Madam President.
And also by Sergeant Hart.
We have two very important awards we're going to be giving out tonight. I'm not sure if all parties are here. They involve traffic crashes and some amazing things that were done at these crashes. Number one was a life-saving belt award, and the other was, a life-saving award that is going to be given to two recipients here tonight. I'd like to introduce Sergeant Paul Hart of our Traffic Division, as well as Traffic Officer Christina Parr.
Good evening, folks. Unfortunately, two of our people had just called up within the last hour with family emergencies and were unable to attend. I'll briefly go over the first one, which is the Saved by the Belt Award. On August 15th, 2012, at 8:45 p.m., Jonathan Levin was driving home to Buffalo Grove from work on westbound Dundee Road, about 1/4 mile east of Port Wine. At that time, a red Acura RSX on eastbound Dundee Road, approaching Mr. Levin, crossed over the double yellow lane markings and entered the oncoming traffic, striking Mr. Levin's vehicle in a head-on crash at high speed. It was determined that the driver of the red Acura RSX had been drinking and was subsequently charged with DUI. Mr. Levin was able to survive the very serious crash due to being properly seatbelted in his vehicle. He was released from the hospital the same night with moderate injuries from what could very well have been a fatal car crash. Mr. Levin is a living testimony to the fact that seatbelts save lives. The Village of Wheeling, the Wheeling Police Department, and the Illinois Department of Transportation are proud to present Mr. Levin with the Saved by the Belt Award. He'll be presented that award on Thursday afternoon in the police station lobby. Secondly, I'd like to call up Miss June Urban and Mr. Ziegler. Mr. Ziegler was driving a truck, and Miss Urban here is a nurse. And I would like to read about the Life-Saving Award, and I'm going to have Mr. Ziegler present the award to Miss Urban. On June 7th, 2012, at about 7:20 in the morning, Thomas Ziegler was driving his work truck on westbound Hintz Road at the intersection with Elmhurst Road when he suffered a cardiac arrest. Mr. Ziegler lost consciousness, and his vehicle kept moving. The vehicle crashed into two other vehicles and then crashed into the building in the southwest corner of the intersection. June Urban, standing to my right, is a nurse, and Charles Goodline, a Wheeling High School student, both went to his aid and found Mr. Ziegler unresponsive in his vehicle. June Urban and Charles Gouldine determined that Mr. Ziegler was not breathing and had no pulse. June Urban and Charles Gouldine then gave Mr. Ziegler cardiopulmonary resuscitation, also known as CPR, right at the scene and kept him alive until the arrival of the paramedics. The paramedics subsequently transported Mr. Ziegler to Lutheran General Hospital, where he was treated and made a full recovery, as you see standing with us today. The quick thinking and actions on the part of June Urban and Charles Gouldine saved the life of Thomas Ziegler. The Village of Wheeling and the Wheeling Police Department is proud to present this life-saving award to June Urban, and it'll be presented on the part of Mr. Ziegler. Bernie, would you like to come get some pictures of this, please? And you can applaud right now.
How fortunate we are to have the residents our residents going through our village that are able to help and to do so much for everybody.
And at this point, also, like I said, Mr. Charles Gouldine, who's a high school student at Wheeling High School, was unable to attend tonight due to a family emergency. His award will be presented to him in the next day or two after I set it up with his parents. So thank you very much for coming. Our village owes a great debt to people like this, and thank you very much for your time and for your consideration.
Thank you. Proclamation.
National Memory Screening Day, November 13th, 2012. In 2003, the Alzheimer's Foundation of America set the third Tuesday in November as National Memory Screening Day as part of National Alzheimer's Disease Awareness Month to help educate the public about this progressive brain disorder that is among the top 10 causes of death in the United States. More than 5.1 million Americans suffer from Alzheimer's, a number expected to double by 2030 statistically. Alzheimer's strikes some 10% of those aged 65 or older and nearly half of those aged 85 or older. As with many diseases, early detection and diagnosis directly affect treatment methods, therapies, and social services, plus the various counseling programs and support services for caregivers. In response to research breakthroughs, AFA created National Memory Screening Day to help promote early detection. While memory screenings are not used to diagnose any illnesses, they are useful as indicators of whether or not a person might benefit from additional examinations by qualified medical professionals. Proper memory screenings are a safe, confidential, and cost-effective method of helping to identify individual potentiality at all risk of Alzheimer's and to direct them to the appropriate resources. On Tuesday, November 13th, the Human Service Department of the Village of Wheeling will be conducting an all-day information and resource session at the Pavilion Senior Center in observance of National Memory Screening Day, with screenings conducted in English, Spanish, and Russian. Judy Abiscato, President of the Village of Wheeling, does hereby designate November 13th, 2012 as National Memory Screening Day in Wheeling and joins the Alzheimer's Foundation of America in urging all Wheeling residents, especially those with older family members, friends, or neighbors, to learn more about Alzheimer's and the critical importance of early detection and diagnosis.
Ms. Herzog? Human Services and our Senior Coordinator, if you will.
Good evening. Just a quick note. In honor of National Memory Screening Day tomorrow, we have memory screenings all day long performed by our social service staff. We have a family caregiver informational luncheon tomorrow, as well as an informational presentation in the evening to talk about the signs and symptoms of dementia. This event is at 6:30 p.m., open to the public at the Wheeling Pavilion Senior Center. For more information, please contact the Senior Center at 847-459-2670. And I'd want to thank the board for their recognition and support of this event. Thank you.
And thank you. And appointments and confirmations?
Carol Festeinstein, Senior Commissioner.
No, she's not here this evening.
No, but we have to appoint her.
Yes,
Right.
Do I have a motion?
So move.
Second.
Motion by trustee Agiris, second by trustee Lang. Roll call, please.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Hein?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Argyris?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Heer?
Yes.
President Abiscato?
Yes, and thank you. We have no staff reports?
We have citizens' concerns and comments.
Yes.
Members of the general public may address the board with concerns or comments regarding relevant issues. The person submitting a petition, concern, or other comment shall be allotted 5 minutes to present their points. Raja Jasufi? Raj Jasufi? Did I pronounce it wrong?
Don't worry about it. You're not the first one. Well, good evening, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight here. My name is Rashid Yusufi, and I'm the board president of the Plum Creek Condominium Association. And I have 2 points that I would like to make today, and just to kind of run it by you and see if you have any information on that. The first point is that we have, as a board, heard comments from many of our residents about the median on the Wolf Road, right on the entrance onto the Plum Creek Drive, because the cars, we are a community of 228 units, so the cars are going in and out at any given time during day or night, and complaints come that the median has been raised, and then the cars are getting over the curbs, and it's a very disturbing to all of us. And I thought, I was looking at your October 15 board meeting minutes. I thought there was a discussion here about the Wolf Road rehabilitation. But I couldn't find it on here. So I wanted to see if that was true, and what the Wolf Road rehab includes, whether that median would be part of that rehab project as well. And the second point I wanted to make is the Palwaukee Airport noise. We are experiencing increased airplane noise. Planes are revving up closer to the complex, and the number of the planes taking off and landing is increasing almost daily. And at some point, one of our residents was told by the general manager of the airport that there were some federal funds available to address the increased noise at the communities that are directly impacted by these issues, to provide insulated windows to those affected by the noise. Now, I have had a meeting with the airport manager myself, and at the time, his response was, we're out of money. There are no funds available at the present time. So I was just wondering if you have any more information on that subject, and if you are aware of the federal initiative that would help residents finance the insulated windows to reduce the
On the
noise.
airport, did you go to their board meeting? I have one of the commissioners
Not the board.
from the airport.
I actually met with the general manager. I believe his name was
Dennis Rule.
Dennis Rule.
Yes.
Yes.
But
The
not
project's
to the
been
board.
approved, we're just waiting for funding. That's the problem.
Yeah, that's what he said. The project is approved, and I think he was talking about an amount of something around the neighborhood of $2 million.
That's the
But the
airport
funds
share.
are not
That's the
available.
airport share.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. But the funds are not available. The project approved, waiting for the funds.
That's correct.
Correct, yes. And that would be, I don't have anything
And on
else.
Wolf Road, Mr. Fondilis.
Concerning Wolf Road, there was a presentation back in October. I don't recall specifically if that median is part of the project that far south, but if you just take Mr. Stavros, he's our Public Works Director, if you take his card, we can walk through it with you, and he can discuss a little bit in more detail than we could talk about here.
Okay, wonderful, thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you once again.
Mr. Heber?
Thank you, Madam President, Board of Trustees. There's two things I'd like to bring up tonight. One, in regards to the WCPAA pancake breakfast that we had November 4th. And everybody that was there really enjoyed themselves. We had 72 people showed up, and even Deputy Chief Stevens was singing songs. I would suggest he keeps his day job, though. The best part was when Chief Benson come in. He come in the one door, and we told him to go around to the other. Everybody's standing there singing happy birthday to him. Now, where else, besides in the village of Wheeling, would you get chief of the police department come to help with the pancake breakfast. I mean, I was without words, and he worked. I mean, he worked. And like I say, I thank everyone who showed up for it. And it wasn't a huge success, but it was a success. And I thank everybody who was there. Secondly, this coming Wednesday, November 14th, Wheeling Community Blood Drive from 2 p.m. until 7 p.m. Me and my wife, we've been doing this now for 20 some odd years, volunteering on this. And I'd love to see when we get a large crowd. I mean, I want to see people standing in line. And if 1/3 of the eligible donors gave blood, we wouldn't have to be advertising like this. 1/3. And they say, well, they tell you the draw the blood actual is about 10 minutes, 8 to 10 minutes. The whole process is maybe an hour. Now, tell me anybody who cannot give an hour of their time to save up to 3 lives. Now, I don't know. In this village, we've had a number of cancer patients, and that is a lot of blood that's used. And if it's not at the hospital, they have to call another hospital and have it delivered. Well, in that meantime, what's this person doing? Eligible to die. There's nothing that's more important than blood. I don't care what it is. And I thank everyone, and I hope people will show up. I do not have Beverly's telephone number at the time, but you can make an appointment with LifeSource at 877-543-3768. And I thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Heber.
That's all, Madam President.
Thank you. And we have no staff reports. Consent agenda.
All items listed on the consent agenda are considered to be routine by the village board and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a board member or citizen so requests, in which event the item will be removed from the general order of business and considered after all other agenda items.
So moved.
Motion made by trustee Adira.
Second.
Second by trustee Heer. Roll call, please.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Hein?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Argyris?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Heer?
Yes.
President Evans-Cotto?
Yes. We have no old business, new business.
13A was pulled. And 13E. Okay. 13A, ordinance declaring a surplus and authorizing the disposition of personal property owned by the Village of Wheeling at 115 South Milwaukee Avenue.
Mr. Fundelis.
Thank you, Madam President. Several items that are detailed in the ordinance before you were requested to be salvaged by the Wheeling Historical Society. In order to do that, the village board needs to declare these items surplus. And that is what this ordinance does. The items will then be removed and provided to the Wheeling Historical Society for preservation.
So move.
Motion made by trustee Heer.
Second.
Second by trustee Lang. Roll call, please.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Hein?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Argyris?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Heer?
Yes.
President Evans-Cotto?
Yes.
Item 13B, resolution authorizing the village manager to execute a contract for consulting services for Phase 2 engineering for the Dundee Road bicycle and pedestrian path.
Mr. Janik.
Good evening. Thank you, Madam President. This contract is relative to the bike path project that would connect Wheeling to Northbrook on Dundee Road. The situation with this contract is we have a grant that we applied for that we have been able to obtain, and this contract is for the Phase 2 engineering portion of the project. The Phase 1 portion of the engineering was done by village staff approximately a year and a half ago, and we cannot perform that service in-house anymore. So we've gone out, we've gotten an RFP. This is the low bidder. It's a well-known engineering firm. The situation, however, is that we are not positive whether or not this contract can be paid for out of the grant. I think that we need to, or the board needs to, go forward relative to this contract and assume that it will not be paid out of the grant, and it will be paid for out of the general fund. We are looking at the possibility that this can be paid for out of the grant. We won't know. IDOT needs to provide us with a letter letting us know if we can pay for it out of the grant. But we are requesting that the funds be spent to complete the Phase 2 engineering for this project.
Do we have any questions?
What's that
Trustee
dollar
Brady?
amount?
Yeah, this is going to connect us up to Northbrook with the study we had through the forest preserves there. Is this the second Phase 2 of that?
That's correct.
How far west does this study take us?
This study takes us to, basically it takes us to the shopping center, the Riverside Shopping Center.
Riverside?
Riverside.
That's it?
Well, it goes from there, that's where there's sidewalk there, and then it goes west all the way to the 294 bridge. East to the bridge, sorry.
It seems like we're still lacking because we get people to ride their bike to Dundee and Milwaukee, and then there's nothing for them.
Well, I believe there's sidewalk on Dundee Road on the south side of the road.
Okay.
And then it picks up from there and goes east.
All right.
If I may add, this project, as Director Janik had said, we've received over $1 million, well, the project is over $1 million for which we have received grant monies. The reason that this is coming before us is because within the last several months, we lost our village engineer, and as Mark had indicated previously, we had done this work in-house. So while this is still another expense for the project, the value of what the village is paying versus what we are getting in grant monies to complete the project is still definitely in our best interest.
It's about a mile. It's about a mile long, right?
I believe a little longer, but that's approximately.
Through literally virgin territory.
Yes.
Nothing in the way. It's a lot of money. I mean, with 2 studies, and we're still not ready to start building. What's the third study, Phase 3?
Well, there's Phase 1, there's Phase 2. We also had a contract for a structural contract with construct a wall along part of the route because of the grade change on the right of way. But the reason why it's taken so long is just that the IDOT review relative to this project has taken an inordinate amount of time. We had to also hire a consultant to make sure that there weren't any rattlesnakes that were going to be, the habitat was not going to be negatively impacted also. So we've had to go through numerous hoops to get this project. The Forest Preserve itself, just the Forest Preserve District, is also, it's not easy to deal with all these governmental agencies.
Tell me about it. It's not easy, and it's very expensive because I must be getting old. Spend all this money for a mile of an asphalt bike path that's 8 feet wide through property that's just grass right now. We got studies after studies after studies. What's the government doing to us? I mean, this is nuts. But I guess it's got to be. It's got to be. I don't know if now's the time to do it, but.
Thank you. We have any other? Do I have a motion?
Madam President, one question.
Yes.
Mark, when do you foresee this finally starting and then finishing?
I hope that the construction starts late summer of next year. I said that's the best, unfortunately, that's the best I can hope for.
Okay.
Motion was made by Trustee Lang. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Trustee Vogel. Roll call, please.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Hein?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Argyris?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Heer?
Yes.
President Avascado?
Yes.
Item 13C has 2 ordinances. outdoor storage at Wheeling Park District Property, 245 Igdy Drive. Ordinance 1 is granting a special use of site plan and appearance approval to construct outdoor storage facilities, docket number 2012-17A.
Mr. Janik.
Thank you. This concerns the building and property that the Park District owns on Edgerty Drive. At the rear of the building, the Park District is requesting the approval of outdoor storage. These would be bins, concrete bins that they would construct adjacent to their building on the east side of the building. Behind the building, there's a parking lot and a drive-through, and right now they store materials on the pavement. This would be a more organized form of outdoor storage.
And a cleaner look.
That's correct.
So move.
Second.
Motion made by trustee Heer, second by trustee Agiris. Roll call, please.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Hein?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Agiris?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Heer?
Yes.
President Abiscato.
Yes.
Item 2, ordinance granting a variation from Title 19 zoning of the Wheeling Municipal Code to increase the maximum allowed size of outdoor storage, docket number 2012-17B.
Mr. Janik.
Thank you. This concerns the property at 762 or 742 Glen Avenue in the village. This is an industrial concern. They have outdoor storage at their location at the rear of the property. The rear of this building actually faces west. To the west of,
I'm sorry.
Oh.
We're doing the ordinance for the outdoor storage for Edgerty Drive
Oh, I'm sorry.
to increase the maximum allowed.
That's the variation for the Park District property
Yes.
for the special use. They're requesting a variation along with their special use.
So move.
Sorry.
Motion made by trustee Agiris, second by trustee Hein. Roll call, please.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Hein?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Agiris?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Heer?
Yes.
President Abiscato.
Yes.
Now you can go.
Now,
Now you're
Item
good.
13D, ordinance granting special use site plan and appearance approval for outdoor storage at an existing industrial building at 742 Glen Avenue, docket number 2012-16.
Mr. Janik.
Sorry about that.
No, that's all right.
Okay, so there's a photograph in front of you. This is the 742 Glen Avenue building. The outdoor storage is requested to be located on the west side of the building. The building, behind the building is the railroad tracks. So they have one storage container, and they were requesting the ability to store another storage container just like that adjacent to it.
Do we have any questions? Do we have someone? Motion made by trustee Vogel,
Second.
second by trustee Lang. Roll call, please.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Hein?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Agiris?
Yes.
Trustee Heer?
Yes.
President Abiscato.
Yes.
Trustee Heer, President Lang.
Lang, yes.
Okay. Item 13D, you did that one. E is canceled. Item 13F has 4 resolutions. Resolution 1, rejecting all bids for the fiscal year 2012 contractual tree pruning, tree removal, stump grinding, and emergency service program.
So move.
Motion made by trustee Agiris,
Second.
second by trustee Vogel. Roll call, please.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Hein?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Agiris?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Heer?
Yes.
President Abiscato.
Yes.
Item 2, resolution waiving competitive bidding requirements and accepting a proposal from Trees R Us Incorporated for an amount not to exceed $35,000 for the fiscal year 2012 standalone Parkway tree trimming contract.
So move.
Motion
Second.
made by trustee Agiris.
Question.
Yes, question by trustee Brady.
2012. It's almost over with. What do we,
It has to be done, I believe it's set in there before the end of the year.
for this year?
That's why, yes, for this year.
Who's been doing it up till now?
Actually, it's better to perform this work after the leaves have fallen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was wondering, a tree trimming, that's for 2012, and we only got a month and a half left or whatever it is.
That's the best time, BC.
Sorry.
I asked that last year.
Do I have a motion? I have a motion on the floor. Do I have a second?
Dave made the second.
Dave?
Made the second.
Trustee Vogel made the second. Roll call, please.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Hein?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Argyris?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Hare?
Yes.
President Evans-Cotta?
Yes.
3, resolution rejecting all bids for the FY 2012 contractual creek tree pruning, tree removal, and brush clearing project.
Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by trustee Vogel, second by trustee Agiris. Roll call, please.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Hein?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Argyris?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Hare?
Yes.
President Evans-Cotta?
Yes.
Resolution 4, waiving competitive bidding requirements and accepting a proposal from Clean Cut Tree Service Incorporated for an amount not to exceed $30,000 for the fiscal year 2012 standalone creek tree trimming and brush clearing program.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Motion made by trustee Lang.
Second.
Second by trustee Hein. Roll call, please.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Hein?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Argyris?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Hare?
Yes.
President Evans-Cotta?
Yes.
Item G, discussion regarding improvement of 5.8 acre village-owned parcel on Meadow Lane for stormwater management.
Mr. Janik. Thank you.
It's a little bit easier to talk to you this way. I have in the audience Bob Hamilton, representing the firm of Gaywall Hamilton. This project is 5.8 acres that's north of Meadow Lane and bordered by the diversionary channel on the north part of the village. As you might remember, there was a contract that the village board approved relative to a study on this parcel. It was when I provided you the contract, there was a phase 1 and phase 2. What you see tonight is really the end of phase 1, and if you approve of these studies, the next part of the project would be to get surveying done and to get some more detailed drawings relative to 1 or 2 of these scenarios for further review, and then cost estimating. What we have is basically 3 and 4, but basically 3 different ideas on how to provide stormwater management on this parcel. The entire parcel is in the floodplain, and it does have wetlands as well. There's a wetland along the very north border here, and then we found another wetland that goes north-south from the wetland along the north border. Generally speaking, we don't want to, if we don't have to, we don't want to affect either of these wetlands. All the scenarios that you see tonight are going to take somewhat complicated governmental approvals. However, as we go from option 1 through option 4, it gets more complicated relative to those governmental approvals. The first option, it says option A and B, but it's really just option 1, I would call it, is the creation of stormwater management on the property. It would be compensatory storage only, which means it would be storage that does not contain any detention for development, but just compensatory storage. This would be a situation where we would dig a basin, and we would not leave any of the spoils on site. It would create approximately 2 acre-feet of storage, and it would have a path system as it shows. This white line is a path system that would go from Meadow Lane around adjacent to the diversionary channel. It would leave the wetlands alone, and that would be it. The cost on this is approximately $500,000. The next scenario would be similar all compensatory storage, but this area down here would be what's a berm. So we would leave a lot of the spoils that we dug out of the basin. We would leave those spoils in a berm and a little hill on the south side here. This would be a lower cost alternative. However, we wouldn't get as much storage. We would get about approximately 1.3 acre feet of storage on this option here. The next option would be similar to the first option. We would have two basins. One would affect the wetland. This is possible to get permitted. It would just take more time. The fourth option is a little more complicated. This option shows you would access the diversionary channel. In other words, it would be what's called online storage, online compensatory storage. So we would actually open up the berm where the diversionary channel is and allow water to flow into this site when there was a certain amount of water in the diversionary channel. This is the most expensive and it's the most complex. It's definitely doable, but it does take more time. And there's substantially more storage provided relative to this scenario than any of the other ones. So from a cost standpoint, this is the most cost effective, but it is the most complicated. The whole idea behind studying this site is due to the proposed and or existing development that's along this or in this general area. As you know, there's a large condominium project that's on the south side of the diversionary channel. That's the standalone project right now. The property just to the west of that project, which is directly east of this project, has been graded, and that property is partially done. There's 17 acres that's being worked on right now north of the diversionary channel, and that's being prepared for development. That's also in the floodplain. There's also property to the west of the 17 acres on the north side. So just in general in this area, there's projects or potential projects that could use compensatory storage. That's the reason why we're studying this site. It's our site. We can do whatever we want with it. Right now, it's just, it's partially wooded, partially meadow. But the idea was to look at the site and determine whether or not the board would like to go forward with some sort of compensatory or storage on the site. What we found is that we can't put detention on the site. We can't put compensatory storage. All the developments or potential developments in this area could use compensatory storage to some extent or other. I have got Bob Hamilton here. He's the engineer in this. He owns the firm. He can handle any specific engineering comments or questions you might have. Other than that, I'm here for questions.
If I may, the direction we're looking for this evening is really an opinion on which of the three areas, assuming the board wants to move forward at all, which of the three recommendations the board is wanting to hear more information on so that we can further study those options, whatever the result is from tonight's discussion. You're not actually approving any money. We're just looking at what the board would like to see in the future based on what the costs associated with each of these options will be, how you would like staff to proceed.
Do we have any question? Trustee Brady?
Is this in the TIF?
This is in the TIF district. That's correct.
So the money that would take to develop this could actually come out of the TIF for the development of all that property around it?
The TIF funds could be used for this particular property. I do not believe the property directly east of this is in the TIF, but then other properties to the north and to the east of that are in the TIF districts.
Including that 17 acres?
17 acres is in the TIF district as well. That's correct.
You know, none of us up here, we can see these, even myself, kind of halfway understand this, knows the difference between 1, 2, 3, and 4. I think we have to look for you and the professional, which one would benefit us as a village if we're going to spend any money, whether it be little or a lot, to do this project. Which one would benefit us most?
My opinion is that number 4 would benefit us the most. It costs the most money, however. It's approximately $700,000 according to the estimate, the preliminary estimate that Gaywell Hamilton has done. I'm not even saying it could be done. We need to get approval from IPA. We need to get from IDNR, IPA, Corps of Engineers. It's complex, but it does provide approximately 11 acres of compensatory storage. And I do know that any project that's really in this area, almost all, they all will require compensatory storage of some form on their property. The problem is that when you locate detention and compensatory storage on your property, you run out of space for what I would call usable land. For instance, on the 17 acres north of the diversionary channel, virtually that entire property is in the floodplain as well. For them to fill on that property, they need to provide substantial amounts of compensatory storage. The more they store on their property, the less land is available for development. It's just a fact. That's what this would do if the board's inclined to. I mean, you can create this storage, and then you can give it away. You can sell it. I mean, it becomes there's value here, and that's for the board to decide. But I mean, I'm not here to tell you to spend $700,000. That's a lot of money. But there is some value you're creating.
Without any target in sight as far as a project, could we spend the TIF money on this? Or does it have to be for a specific entity?
Well, what you could do is, you could do it without a project in sight, but what you could also do is get the drawings done and be ready. Now, I'm telling you, this fourth alternative, Mr. Hamilton can give you an opinion as well. I would say that this is at least 2 years to get this approved, and it would be a substantial amount of money just to get the approval done. I mean, first you have to get the drawings done, which has been quoted to you or provided you to a contract, but then to get this approved through all the different agencies would take a substantial amount of staff time as well as some more of Mr. Hamilton's time. So you wouldn't have to go build it. You could get drawings prepared. You could get actually permits you could get, and then you wouldn't have to actually do the project, but you could get all the permits in place.
Trustee Lang.
Well, I was looking at it the same way. I mean, these plans all, they're hard for an average person to read. But if you look at what the results are, what plan would achieve the most buildable land with the least harm to wetlands at the most reasonable cost?
Well, these plans wouldn't provide any buildable land.
Well, buildable meaning for other areas.
Oh, well, the number 4, there's a chart at the end of the report by GHA, and it shows you the cost per cubic foot.
Yeah, I'm on that page.
So you can see that number 4 is between $2.75 and $3.52 per cubic foot. So you can see that there's a value. The other ones are more expensive. So you get more for your money, okay, but you're spending more.
And part of the goal of this too is to create buildable land in other areas.
That's correct
as well. And will any of these plans create that same type of buildable land, or does one allow for more buildable land in other areas than others?
All the as far as my information is that all the storage you create on this property can be used in the general east of this property for development projects.
Okay.
So there's not a confined area to use this compensatory storage.
Okay. And when you say for option 4, for instance, it disturbs wetlands and floodway, to what extent is it recreating those? How is it affecting the
Well, number
wetlands?
4 doesn't affect the existing wetlands on the 5.8 property. Number 4 affects wetland that is inside the diversionary channel itself. Because what you would do is, I'm not sure if you've ever been out by the diversionary channel. You know,
I have.
But you would actually take apart one of the berms, and you would open it up. And so there actually is wetland inside the diversionary channel. It's not very much, but you would be affecting wetland that's in the channel itself.
So you're not affecting wetlands in that area to the east of there?
No, we're not.
Okay, so it's a small area of wetlands.
That's correct. And even this storage area could be, you could transplant wetlands into this basin.
Okay, so that larger area of wetlands is remaining basically untouched?
That's correct.
Okay. Yeah, for now, 4 seems like a good option.
Trustee Vogel?
That 706,000 total estimated cost, well, you said there were costs, substantial costs up front before we even start the project. As a percentage or as a dollar amount? I mean, 100,000 we would spend and before putting a shovel and moving anything?
The contract with Gaywall Hamilton to produce drawings of one of these scenarios, as well as get some permitting done, I believe was $60,000. I believe it was somewhere in the neighborhood of $60,000. I think I would add another $20,000 onto that to get all the permits approved.
Okay, so
I think you're looking at $80,000 for drawings and permitting.
And of course, none of that would happen until a contract came before the board for official approval. I mean, I know we're giving guesstimates at this point.
Well, actually, there is a contract right now for production of drawings, so that you have approved that. So above and beyond that would be probably another $20,000.
Right.
So if we got to the point 2 years down the road, out of pocket, besides what we spent already, another 80,000. And if 2 years from now we find out that nothing's going to happen on that 17 acres for 5 years or whatever, we'd be out about $80,000 if we halted the project.
You would be out $80,000, but
You wouldn't have to spend it later. But if we halted the project, it would cost us $80,000. And would the TIF cover that $80,000?
yes.
The TIF would cover that, and yes, you're right, we would be out, the TIF would be out the $80,000 now, and you're also correct that eventually, if that land to the north and east is ever going to be developed, that would be a cost that would have to be incurred then, and of course, at that time, it may be even more money. So, yes, you're getting as-built plans this way.
Okay.
Or shovel-ready plans.
Yeah, I agree with option 4.
Trustee Lang has another question.
Yes, sorry, I didn't ask this before. What is the point of the asphalt path? That's
The asphalt plant path. We're not putting the asphalt plant here. The asphalt path is for recreational purposes. In fact, my interest is actually extending this path south along the diversionary channel if possible, down to the Squamish Temple and then connecting to Northgate Parkway, where there's a widened sidewalk already on Northgate. So you possibly be able to ride your bike from Northgate Parkway through this site into the condominium property and then over to, say, the Ram Restaurant. But it would be a path connection. And so since we have the 5.8 acres here, you could connect to Meadow Lane, and then you could connect east and west on this property and hopefully connect to something else.
okay. And the Park District owns a lot of that land just to the north of there, so I know they were planning some sort of recreational use for that land as well.
If we could get a bridge across the diversionary channel and connect to the Park District land, and they were doing some work up there, that would be a bonus as well.
Is a bridge across that channel mega expensive and hard to come by? I mean, would it be a challenge?
It would be a challenge, but I would suggest to you that, or I would submit that if we're going through the hassle of this particular, or not the hassle, if we were going through the complications of getting permits for this particular project, we might want to try to get something across the diversionary channel as well. That's a separate issue, but I would say that it might be worth doing that.
So we would ask for direction. We'll start with Trustee Lang.
So far, option 4 seems like the best.
Trustee Brady?
Proceed with 4.
Trustee Here?
Option 4.
Trustee Heim?
Option 4.
Trustee Vogel?
Option 4.
Trustee Agiris?
Option 4 with a quick question.
Yes.
Regarding the wetland you talked about by the diversion channel, would there any remediation have to be done to replace that
I would hope that we could replace it inside this basin.
within the space?
That's correct. So we
That'd
went
be
up
cost effective too, then.
That's
Big
correct.
time. Okay. Thanks.
And option 4 is the consensus of the board. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Janik. Do we have any official communications this evening? Clerk Simpson?
I just want to tell everybody that starting on December 1st through December 9th, Lollipop Lane will be held at the church on Wolf Road. Saturday and Sunday is from 2 to 5, and Monday through Friday, it's 6:30 to 8:30.
Thank you. And a reminder on November 25th, the lighting of the lights. Santa will be there. The band will be from Lake Wheeling High School. We'll have an ensemble there. Santa will be bringing some gifts for all the children, and the board will be present. And that is at the fountain. So we look forward to seeing everyone, and we'll all be there to turn on the lights together. Thank you. Do we have anything else? If not, we have the approval of the bills, October 18th through November 7th.
So moved.
Motion made by trustee Agiris,
Second.
second by trustee Here. Roll call, please.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Hein?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Argyris? Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Here?
Yes.
President Everskyler?
Thank you. I need the board to go into executive session to discuss the purchase of lease or property by the village, the setting of a price for the sale or lease of property owned by the village, and pending probable and imminent litigation. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by trustee Agiris, second by trustee Vogel. Roll call, please.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Hein?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Argyris?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Here?
Yes.
President Everskyler?
We will go into executive session at 7:40.
True, no problem. No accumulation, just a dust.
Board comes out of executive session at 8:36.
Coming from Green Bay.
We will
Wait.
What are we doing?
8:41.
8:36.
8:37.
Okay, can I have a,
Do we have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Motion made by trustee Vogel, second by trustee,
Argyros, all in favor?
all in favor?
Aye.
That motion to go into,
That was it, okay.
okay. Mr. Fondulis.
Do we have to take it off the table?
No, it wasn't put on the
It
table.
wasn't on.
It was removed.
What about 13? Okay,
You can just read it
You
as
can just
you
read both, you can read both items and take a
Okay.
vote.
12A.
go ahead. Ordinance and resolution regarding the Foreign Fire Insurance Board, A1, ordinance amending Title 4, Chapter 4.36, Section 4.36.020 of the Wheeling Municipal Code and creating Title 2, Chapter 2.57 regarding foreign fire insurance taxes and the Foreign Fire Insurance Board.
So moved.
Mr. Ferrilla.
If there are any questions, we've discussed the ordinance, creates the Foreign Fire Board, 7 members of the fire department, and they're tasked to spend the foreign fire insurance money for the use, benefit, and maintenance of the fire department. The ordinance contains provisions relative to the chief's review of each expenditure on an annual basis.
Second.
Who did first?
I did.
Motion by trustee Ajira, second by trustee
Here.
Here. Roll call, please.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Hein?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Argyros?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Hare?
Yes.
President Scotto.
Yes.
Item A2, resolution authorizing the village president to execute a settlement and release agreement with the Foreign Fire Insurance Board.
So
We have a
moved.
motion by trustee
Second.
Ajira, second by trustee Vogel. Roll call, please.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Hein?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Argyros?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Hare?
Yes.
President Scotto.
Yes.
Okay, what about,
12A.
12A.
Well, 12A was removed, so we'll bring that back to you next week.
Oh, we're not doing anything.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. And Mr. Fondulis, you have something?
Sure, I just wanted to let the board know, with the holidays coming up, what the meeting schedule is going to be for the next couple of months. We do have a meeting next week, which would be Monday the 19th. We do have a meeting on Monday the 26th. In between that, we also have the lighting of the lights, which is Sunday, November 25th. And then in order to complete all of our budget requirements by state statute, now we have a number of items that we have to clear during December. But because 2 of the Mondays in December are Christmas Eve and then New Year's Eve, we thought it wise to skip the 3rd, Monday, December 3rd, because we've had 6 meetings in a row, and have a meeting on December 10th and December 17th. So in December, we would not meet on the 3rd, we would meet on the 10th, we will meet on the 17th, and then we will not meet again until January 7th because of Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve. All of this will be in your packet this week. I just wanted to announce it and let everyone know in advance.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Motion made by trustee Vogel, second by
It doesn't matter.
trustee Hill.
all in favor?
All in favor?
Aye. May.
Dave wants to stay.
Oh, Dave's here tonight?
I finally turned the heat on.